Picture this. A new movement, brimming with the promise of truth, is born in the heart of a hostile city. Its followers are few, its enemies many, and the very act of belief could mean facing the wrath of an entire tribe. Yet, instead of falling to the might of their oppressors, these early believers turn to the shadows, meeting in secret, their faith burning brighter with every whispered word. This is the untold story of how Islam survived its most dangerous beginnings, where every gathering was a risk, and every step a challenge to the powers that be. In the early days of Islam, the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, faced relentless persecution from the Quraysh tribe. As the message of monotheism began to spread, it threatened the very foundations of the polytheistic society in Mecca. The Quraysh, realizing the growing influence of this new faith, intensified their efforts to crush it. The situation became so dire that the Prophet had to advise his followers to conceal their conversion to Islam. This was not just a matter of personal safety. It was a strategic move to protect the fragile and still developing Islamic movement. The Prophet knew that an open confrontation with the polytheists could have devastating consequences. The early Muslims were few in number, and their strength was in their faith, not in their physical power. To ensure their survival and the continued spread of the message, the Prophet decided to hold secret meetings with his followers. These gatherings were essential for teaching the Quran and imparting Islamic teachings, but they also served as a safe space for the new Muslims to find solidarity and strength in each other. One fateful day in the 4th year of prophethood, a group of Muslims was on their way to one of these clandestine meetings. They were moving cautiously through the hillocks of Mecca, hoping to avoid detection. But the Quraysh were vigilant, always on the lookout for any sign of this new movement. A group of polytheists spotted the Muslims and, without hesitation, began to hurl abuses and attack them. In the heat of the moment, Sa'd bin Abi Waqqas, one of the Prophet's companions, struck back, defending his fellow believers. His blow drew blood, marking the first instance of bloodshed in Islamic history. This event underscored the dangerous tension between the nascent Muslim community and the hostile Quraysh. As the threat of violence grew, the Prophet took further precautions. In the 5th year of prophethood, he established Dar al-Arqam as a secret meeting place. Nestled on As-Safa mountain, this humble house became the heart of the Islamic movement. It was here, away from prying eyes, that the Prophet instructed his followers, teaching them the Quran and the wisdom of Islam. Dar al-Arqam was more than just a refuge. It was a symbol of resilience and the unwavering commitment of the early Muslims to their faith. In these early years, the strategy of secrecy was crucial. It allowed the Muslims to grow in strength and number without drawing the full wrath of the Quraysh. But it was also a time of great trial, where the believers had to balance their devotion to the truth with the practical need for caution. The story of the early Muslims is one of courage, patience, and strategic foresight. In the face of overwhelming odds, they managed to keep the flame of Islam burning, even if it had to be shielded from the wind. The lessons from this period remind us that sometimes the greatest strength lies not in confrontation, but in quiet perseverance.